All right, I'm back in the garage. It's about 1 o'clock in the morning. I've been working for about 2 hours messing around with it. I got the back box put back together. Right now, it is just nailed together with finishing nails. You can see a bunch of them going into spots here along the edges. But it's firm and it's sturdy and it's really not bad. This top corner up here is probably the worst spot. And it may be a little bit difficult to show it off. We've got a couple fuses missing. We've got some things we have to get some more fuse holders and rebuild this fuse section over here. Figure out which line goes to which line. Looks like I gotta get 3 fuses fixed. We gotta rebuild this is the light on top, and the motor's still there, still attached. The fuse for it has to be reattached. It's been cut to make stuff move, and there's a couple things that the lights aren't actually plugged in, so that goes to the lights up top and the fuses. I believe that's something else for the lights. I haven't hooked up that's what this is. This, whatever that goes to for some kind of lights thing too, I'm guessing, and this is for the knocker. We straightened out every pin. We've gotten everything back into where it goes. There's 1 or 2, like this cable needs to probably go back in there somewhere. I got to figure that out. I pulled off all the broken scoreboards and just unplugged everything on the front. Pulled out every broken light bulb. We're going to give it juice and see what happens. Maybe it'll melt the garage down, maybe it won't. Okay, so we've got a 0 up there, which is a good sign. There's no batteries in it, so it's freaking out probably. Reboot it. Now, there's no speaker plugged in right now. But look at there, that's attract mode. The 1 scoreboard left is still working. It's showing high scores go by. It maybe would credit a game. Maybe it'll start one. I don't know if the ball's in there. It definitely just did not start a game. Okay. Giving it credits. All right, so some switches aren't working. It's definitely not starting a game yet. Look at that. Somebody blocked that off with tape in there so the ball wouldn't go down. What a bunch of nerds. But incredibly, it's booted up and it's back to life. So we will get some fuses settled and some things to do for the lights, and we're going to pull this apart again. I wanted to get it all up and see what happens with it. What's up is we got the whole head put back together. It is still disgustingly effed up looking, but boy howdy, it's all back together and it works. Luckily, I had LED scoreboards. I need new plastic standoffs in there to hold those up properly. The other ones got broken. There's a bunch of missing lights in the back box still. I did throw some LEDs in there. Also, the MPU had some alkaline damage, and I'm going to be rebuilding that. It's actually right over here sitting on my bench next to this head-on, and an extra power supply that I had just in case I needed to use one, but I don't. Anyway, but we've got a spare Rotten Dog MPU, brand new Rotten Dog that I had on hand, and luckily it worked with this game. So there she is booting up, and it will say high score. That one, they're working. This one here, I think I need a new ribbon cable for that one, and also a ribbon cable for these two. So those two are not working, but they will. Don't worry. But look at there, back up and running and playing. It's missing one big plastic that's like the highway freeway exit entry sign. Other than that, all the plastics are in pretty good shape. A little bit of warping, a little bit of fading and stuff, but I threw some new flipper rubber on it, and some new slingshot rubbers and flipper rubbers. And got the pop bumpers working up there. Kickback. What you? Anyway, so as you can see, it's up and running and doing its thing. Vroom, vroom. On top, there's a light that's missing the dome because I'm sure it got smashed on the street behind the car. It is not easy to play one-handed. Oh, what a shot. So, the next plan with this thing is order a stencil kit. Do a lot of bondoing work and a lot of wood repair work to that side and corner and get it all squared off again. Repaint it, and then throw a hardtop on here. We've got a lot of play field issues. Almost every insert is raised at some point. In fact, every one except this dead center one that the light's out in. That's probably because the light's been out long enough not to melt it up. They're all up. The Mylar's coming up. This one's like really raised up here under the Mylar. There's a lot of paint flake and shitty touch-up work and just filth and grime and gross, and it's going to get sanded down and a brand new hardtop put on it to go along with its paint job. And I'm probably going to hold on to this one for a while. I've got one game already out in the world, and this is a classic, and people will definitely throw 50 cents in it to play a game. Anywhere you see one, it's like, oh, I'm going to go play that high speed. So it might go out in the world and do some service for a little while before we sell it, but eventually it'll be for sale. And the very next video we're going to do is the breakdown and restoration of this Future Spa. I've done one of those before, but we're going to do another one because we've got another one. So that's the goal there. The Pac-Man will be done. I got the Donkey Kong and the Centipede that came with the high speed, all for $800, which is a hell of a deal. That just sold, so we've already made our money back, and we're in the green, I believe is the term. And also this head-on board, we've got the power supply rebuilt and everything's working there, but the board's not working. I think it's the ROMs. We'll find out, because we're going to be doing a Sega head-on restoration. The Miss Pac-Man got sold. The Tempest, that's actually a Knuckle Bash, is still here. And it's probably going to get turned into just a multicade, and then I'll put it out in the world, make some quarters too. I also got this cool old change machine that I haven't shown anybody, but the hopper works. You can load quarters in it, and it'll load them up to where they need to be. And there's actually somebody put like a free play switch in there. You can hit the button, and it'll dump out the quarters. It probably was for tokens. But this old Dollar Tray acceptor does not work. In fact, there's a box to collect the money that's missing from the back of that. So those two wires sticking out will go to the light bulb, but the whole light bulb neck got broken off of there, so I got to replace that and get a dome, and then that'll be done up top. So if you want to know if it's possible to save this high speed, it was possible. It did take a good bit of work. There was a lot of wires that were ripped out of connectors. There was a lot of tracking down of issues. When I first got it up and running, the special solenoids on this game are controlled basically by the CPU and not by like a chip. Like there's a switch to engage the pop bumper and then a switch for scoring. Scoring switches were working, but pop bumper themselves were not popping. That took a lot of tracking down, and it was due to a cable connector that was ripped out, and I didn't see it. It was kind of hidden in the bundle of wires before I noticed it, and it took a good while to track it down. About 2 days worth of going every night and figuring out stuff and trying to figure out why they weren't working and why they are. They're working in coil test mode, but they weren't working in game, and I took a while to figure that out, but we did, and now it's up and running, and the body is in pretty good shape. There's a couple little spots of missing wood and chunks on it, but it will get painted. So I might do a theme conversion on this one. Who knows? It's definitely going to get a hard top. This playfield is too rough, and if you do that, you might as well leave it alone. If I wasn't going to do a hard top, I probably would retheme this to like Speed Racer or something, custom and different, just to be fun. Wacky races, something like that. Anyway, I appreciate you guys watching and checking out the channel, and we're going to try and keep our promise and keep making content and keep it alive over here. And easy, simple videos, not a lot of bullshit. What up, Captain?